Again, we'll be back here next Saturday. We don't know who we're going to play yet, but we'll be back here and probably a 1 o'clock, 1:30 kickoff, we would guess, but we'll just have to wait and see.
And how about Taylor Beasley? He hung in there because he got hit, and they called it a personal foul, roughing the quarterback, but he stood there to the last second and threw a strike to Martinko.
Taylor's got a good gun. He threw that ball a long way, and it was right on the money, a perfect spiral, and, that was a 52-yard pass play. I bet that thing was probably close to 40 yards in the air, wouldn't you think?
I would think so. 49-14, and Martinko made the catch and showed his speed. The young man gets another touchdown. For Martinko, that is his 5th touchdown of the year. And Taylor Beasley's 6th touchdown pass.
It'll start to get a little dark here. Got the lights on. This is the first time I think we played under lights since the first 4 weeks of the season. So kind of neat to see the lights on. They still work.
All right, here comes Miramontes to kick it off. This one definitely over now. As Miramontes sends this one deep, Stotts will take it 5 yards deep and take a knee. So 25-yard line. Well, the Vikings are going to get a playoff win. Last year we lost, remember, in the first round to St. Francis, Indiana. Really didn't play well. But today, even though with all the turnovers, this Viking defense was solid. The offense came up with the big plays when they had to.
One thing I'd still like to see today that I think could help us next week if Miramontes can knock a field goal down. I'd love to see him get about a 35, 40-yard field goal just to keep him in rhythm, and because you get further into the playoffs, those big kicks can be key.
Well, how about this team, this Ottawa team? Lost their first 2 games of the year, and they really have had their backs to the wall all season long. Congratulations to them. 8 straight wins. Here's Stotts. Stotts turns the corner. He has inside the 20, across the 20 rather, to the 25. Now gets all the way across the 30, 35 to the 37-yard line. And that should be enough for a first down, about a 13-yard gain.
And I think that's Darren Davis, defensive back, who's in the lineup right there making the stop for the Vikes. So good to see Darren out there. He's a freshman out of Kansas City.
Kendall Thomas, one of the cornerbacks now. Rafi McClee is out there. Marcus Brinkley's in the defensive secondary. Saya's out there. Saya Mata'ele. Now another penalty. Maybe a face mask or something. Personal foul. And the penalty was called on Saya Mata'ele. So all of a sudden, they get all the way down to the Viking 46-yard line.
Saya's a pretty good-sized guy, 6'3", 236.
Ball at the Viking 46-yard line. Here comes Stotts running around to the right side. Vikings shut that sideline off. And now a flag. They're going to call that a late hit.
Oh, no.
Boy, oh, boy. And there's no way.
I mean, there was a hit. It was a momentum thing. It was not a hard hit by any stretch of the imagination. And
look at Paul Stroth. He's just glaring at the officials. You don't see that much emotion out of Paul. But Joe, that's not a good hit. That's not a good call because you have to tell your defenders to continue to go after that ball carrier until he's out of bounds.
Yeah. And it wasn't like he roughed him up or threw him down or hit him hard or anything like that. Just mainly just kind of tapped him down. That's about all he did, really.
Well, Ty Phillips is coming back onto the field, so the Vikings are going to bring Phillips back in here. Boy, that's 2 personal fouls, and that was a tough one. First down at the 26. I don't agree
with that one.
26-yard line to the Vikings as they hand it up. Ball is loose as Stotts fumbles it. One of the linemen, I think, came back to retrieve it at the 34-yard line. It was one of the receivers who came back to retrieve it, and that was Taylor Bodine. But it's a big loss, and it'll be second down and a bunch.
And, I mean, Rafi McClee stood Stotts up in the backfield. He's the one that caused that fumble. So Rafi's another one that's played a great game today.
6:20 to go. Vikings are going to win this thing. What they want to do right now is just to finish it off. It'll be second down at about 17. As Ginzo takes the snap. He loses it, picks it up. He's hit. There's that tie again.
That's Rafi McClee. Rafi again. Rafi's in that backfield on a pretty regular basis right now.
Wow, another sack for Rafi McClee. He already has an INT.
And plus that big catch on that fake punt.
Maybe I tell you what, he may be getting some votes for defensive player.
He may be our all-purpose player of the day.
3rd and forever. 3rd and about 20. I think after that penalty for a late hit, this Viking defense got a little upset.
Yeah, they're not they're not too happy right now, are they?
They want to keep him out of the end zone. It's 49-14, 5:29 to go. Empty backfield for Ginzo. Takes the snap, rushes on, throws the screen. He completes it, and getting through was John Hilliger. Hilliger up the sideline, and he'll be close to a first down. The Vikings had him back at the 35. He broke a couple of tackles, and then he gets it all the way down to where?
He's still short of a first down, isn't he?
Yeah, it's going to be 4th down and about a yard.
Yeah, Denny Reyes
for
made
first
the stop
down
there, so 4th and a yard.
Down to 5:14 to go. Vikings had it stopped, but a good job by Hilliger not giving up on that screen pass. So 4th and about a yard and a half. As Cody Wood in the backfield now. Now timeout has been called by Ottawa.
They don't like some of their coaches out on the field. He doesn't like something he sees out there. He was screaming at his offensive team right there, so Ottawa's going to take the timeout.
Well, coach isn't given up yet. 4:57 to go. It's 49-14. The Vikings are going to roll, and we'll know probably about 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, I would guess, as to who the Vikes are going to play. This broadcast brought to you by ConAgra, Weber Seeds, and Domino's Pizza, all of Marshall, and by Heinzler Brothers, Fitzgibbon Hospital, and Viking Athletic Goods, all of Marshall.
And, folks, I tell you something. If you're listening, we're going to be at home next Saturday afternoon. If you've got a chance, get out here and watch this team play. Number one, you'll see 2 very good college teams play. And number 2, having a big home crowd here can really make a big difference. And we're just so lucky. I don't say lucky, but we've earned this home field advantage. So we need to take advantage of it.
4th down and about a yard and a half for Ottawa. Ginzo will work out of the empty backfield, takes the snap, wants to keep it, has the first down, and he's down to the 10-yard line or close to it. So it'll be 1st and goal. Well, let's see where they're going to mark it.
Yeah, Denny Reyes, I think, makes a stop, but you're right, that is enough for a first down. Right on the 10s where they put it.
Yeah, it'll be 1st and goal, right at the 10-yard line. Ottawa trying to get into that end zone one more time. Here's the give it off to Stotts. Stotts to the 5, and he's to the 4 and hit hard there as he went to the left and cut back to the middle. And it'll be 2nd and goal from about the 3, 4:26 left.
Gideon Lockett, I think, in on that stop for the Vikings. He's in that defensive backfield right now.
So the Braves want to put one more on the board here. 2nd and goal from the 3. Ginzo takes the snap. He's going to run it to the goal line, and I think he's in. Touchdown, Braves. 49-20 is our score now. As the Braves get their 3rd touchdown of the day, but that one's a little too late. 4:05 left. They'll attempt the extra point. Jeff Stamp will do that. And holding is Jacob Johnson. Ball down, kick is on the way, and this one is up, and it is through. So 49-21, Valley rolling this afternoon at Greg Mitchell. We'll be back with the kickoff in 30 seconds. Well, there's only 2 games that are not final. This one and number 1 Georgetown leading Bethel College 24-13 at the half. The others are all finals. The St. Francis defeated Baker 22-17. Cumberland's over Mid-American Nazarene 42-24. Morningside at home beat Montana Tech 40-35. Southern Oregon came from behind to beat St. Ambrose, Iowa 45-28. That might be a team for here. It looks like St. Xavier, Illinois defeated William Penn 31-0.
That'd be a long trip from Southern Oregon to here.
Woo, for a long trip from Southern Oregon to anywhere.
Yeah, I know it.
All right, here's a little squib kick. Bounces high in the air. Zach Thomas picks it up. Thomas, good wheels. Thomas gets it to the 40-yard line. About a 10-yard return for Zach Thomas.
Hey, Zach almost broke that one. Nice run by the big guy. And again, Zach is he's from Sweet Springs, an excellent ball player over there. He's a junior, 5'11", 220 pounds, and showed great agility that time. Made a nice catch on the ball and nice gain after he came up with it.
And the other score I didn't give you, Marion defeated Northwestern Iowa 42-32. So
Marion's a team that was ranked number 1 all year long. They lost, a couple weeks ago, and so they're a team you don't want to take too lightly.
All right, the Vikings with this big lead and only 4:03 to go. Taylor Beasley in a quarterback. He threw the nice touchdown pass to Marteko the last time. They'll hand it off and give it off to Keith O'Neill. O'Neill with some running room on the far side. Bumped out of bounds on the Ottawa side of the field, but not before he gets across the 45 to about the 48.
Yeah, nice job by the offense there, clearing a hole on the right side. So good run by O'Neill.
Keith came into the game just 227 yards rushing. That one touchdown. Remember, he had that long 70-some-yard touchdown run early in the season. So it's going to be second down and about 3 yards to go. Beasley wants to throw to the sideline, and he tried to get it to Trey Rich. Pass was overthrown on the Viking side of the field. Brings up third down and 3. Trey Rich into the game. Trey's out of Memphis, a 5'11 sophomore, 178-pounder.
Well, a lot of new players in the lineup for the Vikings right now. I don't know if we've mentioned everybody or not. Casey Simmons in there at an offensive tackle position. Also in the game is we mentioned Ben Maiden, I know last time. Mikel Johnson's in there. He's played quite a bit today, made some nice catches for the Vikings.
Third down and about 2. They'll hand it off to O'Neill, running to his left. O'Neill turns the corner. He's hit at midfield, but he gets the first down. And now there should be a horse collar tackle and not going to call it. I don't know how they missed that one, as he was thrown down by Chris Magdalena, the linebacker, who had him by the shoulder pads.
Well, and Magdalena, they list him at 245 pounds. He just roughed Keith O'Neill to the ground that time. He didn't need to do that.
Yeah, but it's a first down at the 49-yard line of Ottawa. So the Vikings, with 3:12 to go, going to win this thing. Beasley turns, hands it off to O'Neill. O'Neill bounces through a hole. Now he slips. Well, we've seen that several times today.
A bunch, hasn't it?
As Keith trying to make a cut, he'll pick up a yard or two. The most important thing now is that clock is moving. 2:55. Blocking for him that time was Zavon Moore. Zavon has had a couple of starts this year, especially when Roy Wolfram was out and hurt.
I'm going to predict once again. We've got it one.
All right,
head
to the field. All right, Joe All heading to the field. We'll have the coach on with us afterwards. If we don't win it now, you're not going to talk to the coach anyway. Second down and 9. 2:32. We'll be right back here next Saturday. Greg Mitchell. Vikes will be 11-0. Ottawa will finish the season 8-3. Hand off to O'Neill up the middle. Keith has a hold of the 40, and Keith gets a first down. The pile moves forward inside the 35, down to the 33-yard line. First down, Viking. Now the flags are thrown. And I think now they're going to finally call a penalty on Ottawa's. A little frustration there by the Braves. Big Dave Stewart applauding that. 2:15 to go, 49-21. Valley going to win this one, and we will be playing back here next week. Here's the personal foul. And that penalty is going to be called on Zach Van Dusen. Zach, an all-conference nose guard. A little frustration there. And that moves the ball down to the 18-yard line. So the Vikings will see if they'll get in one more time. I thought we'd get to the 50-point mark, but the extra point was no good. Still 49-21, so it really doesn't matter. O'Neill with a couple of nice runs here. Ball at the 19-yard line. Play clock down to 7 seconds as Beasley takes a look at that play clock. Game clock at 1:53. Up the middle, O'Neill. O'Neill breaks a tackle. Keith to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown! Keith O'Neill. You're going to look at his stats, and he's going to have a lot of yards rushing because he carried the ball on every play in that drive, and the young man gets his second touchdown of the year, and now the Vikings are over the 50-point mark, 55-21. The Viking team averages over 40 points a game. They average 40.9. That is sixth in the NAIA. Miramontes had problems on the last two extra points, and he gets this one through. 56 points on the board for Valley. 56-21. Kickoff coming up.
When you put food on your table, you want the very best for your family with affordability and convenience with a busy schedule. The company that can provide that is in your backyard, ConAgra in Marshall. ConAgra takes pride in their company, their products, and being a positive member of our community. Not to mention it's a great place to work. They're committed to your family's continuous nutritional health as local producers of kids' cuisine meals, Marie Callender pasta, banquet dinners, and pot pies, and Healthy Choice Cafe steamers. Quality food from a quality hometown company. ConAgra in Marshall. For more, go to ConAgraFoods.com.
Who will the opponent be next week? We'll find out tomorrow afternoon. The one thing we do know is the Missouri Valley College Vikings have made it to the round of 8 in the NAIA tournament as they are putting it to the Braves now. It's 56-21. Crowd is here, and they're pumped up, and they're celebrating. How about Keith O'Neill? Came in that final drive, and Keith O'Neill gets himself a touchdown. But Lenore's Dukes, 4 touchdowns this afternoon. Huge day for Lenore's Dukes. And Ty Phillips, he had a great game. I think he had 4 sacks unofficially. All right, Miramontes will kick it off. And he sends this one to the goal line. Stotts grabs it, and he's going to take a knee. Good crowd from Ottawa across the way, but they've had a great season. It'll end at 8-3. We have soccer coming up on Stretch and on live stream in about an hour and a half. National tournament game. Keith O'Neill with a touchdown. Good young man. So the ball's at the 25-yard line, and for the final time, I think this afternoon Ottawa will have the ball. 1:44 left. Have a new quarterback, Jake Johnson, and he'll work under center. Johnson will turn, hand the ball off to Stotts. Stotts around the left side. Stotts gets a first down and finally shoved out of bounds, but not before he gets across the 35-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Braves. Winners of the KCAC. The KCAC will not have a team in the Final 8. The Vikings are down to 1 team in the Final 8. And, of course, the host team, Valley. Vikes will be 11-0. Johnson under center after the first down run. Went out of bounds. That stops the clock. 1:37 to go. Vikings show blitz. Here they give it off to Stotts. Stotts right up the middle, and Stotts gets another good gain. Across the 40, out to about the 45 or 46-yard line, running between the hash marks. And it'll be 2nd down and 2. Second and 2 with 1:17 left. Again, they hand it off to Stotts. He didn't get back to the line of scrimmage this time. And maybe Andrew Human, the first one to make the tackle. Human, that linebacker out of Farmington. Stotts out of Paola, Kansas. Came into the game with 188 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. He's just a freshman. It'll be 3rd and 3. Under a minute to go now. And the Vikings will go to 11-0 and head to the quarterfinals here next Saturday. A lot of you may have guests for Thanksgiving or be somewhere else, but certainly come and join us next Saturday afternoon. 3rd down and about 3. Johnson taking his snap from center, turns, hands it off to Stotts straight ahead. He'll be short of the first down. And let's see, they may not even run one more play. That may do it. As the Vikings are going to roll 56-21. And I don't think the Braves will even run another play. a great season for Ottawa. They won 8 in a row to win the KCAC and get into the tournament for the 4th year in a row, but their season comes to an end. Final score 56-21, and the Missouri Valley College Vikings are in the Final 8, and we will host next Saturday right here at Greg Mitchell Field. We'll start the postgame show in 30 seconds. Viking Sports Network.
The City of Marshall would like to congratulate the Missouri Valley Vikings on another great season. Thanks for all the excitement. Missouri Valley College and the City of Marshall have enjoyed a solid relationship over many, many years, and the city looks forward to many more. One of the great assets of Marshall is Missouri Valley College. The City of Marshall is very proud to have Missouri Valley College in our heritage. From the students to the staff, educators, and administration, Missouri Valley College is an important part of our city. I'm Connie Latimer saying, go Vikings.
Well, the Vikings turned it over 5 times, and if you tell you most games you turn it over 5 times, you're probably not going to win 56-21. But the Viking defense did a great job all afternoon. The offense came up with big plays. Special teams came up with big plays. A fake punt when the momentum had kind of switched to Ottawa. A fake punt gave the Vikings the momentum back, and they went on to score. Lenoris Dukes had 4 touchdown runs this afternoon. And this defense just did the job all afternoon as the Vikings win it. And the final score is 56-21. Well, these teams will meet with their coaches, and then they're going to have to leave the field because the soccer players from both Hannibal LaGrange and Valley will be coming out and they'll get ready to play at 6:30 tonight. We will have that matchup for you on live stream and also on livestream.com and Stretch Internet as well. Let's take another break, and when we come back, we will hopefully have the coach, Paul Troth and Joe All. That's all coming up. 30 seconds, Viking Sports Network.
Homie here with Heinzler Brothers in Marshall. I've been told we ain't much to look at.
You got that right, homie.
And we don't know much.
I'd agree with that.
But when it comes to your metalwork needs, we're the guys to call.
Y'all are nuts.
Who was the defensive player? They didn't come and ask us.
So
Who's the defensive player?
And homie, we're the nuts that make the bolts fit together.
Heinzler Brothers in Marshall. We're just nuts about what we do. Call 886-7775.
Davis. In the final score, 56-21. So Valley with an 11-0 record will move on now, and we will play at home next Saturday. The NAIA will get together, and the committee will get together, and they'll figure out where everybody's going to play. St. Francis beat Baker today, 22-17. Cumberland's over Mid-American Nazarene, 42-24. Morningside, the third-ranked team, beat Montana Tech, 40-35. Southern Oregon knocked off St. Ambrose, Iowa, 45-28. Marion, number 4, beat Northwestern 42-32. Georgetown, the number 1 team, beating Bethel 24-13 at the half. And then St. Xavier, last year's champion, knocked off William Penn 31-0. So 3 of the top 4 seeds are still alive. So there'll be games at Morningside next week. The Vikings will host. Marion will host. And if Georgetown holds on, they will host as well in the second round. So we'll have a game here next Saturday. And again, we should know by mid-afternoon tomorrow who that opponent will be. Now, as far as the soccer team is concerned, they'll play Mid-American, or rather, they will play Hannibal LaGrange coming up at 6:30 tonight. The winner of that game goes to the Montgomery, Alabama, as the 16 teams left after today will all meet for a one-week tournament there. But in football, you play at home until you get to that final game, and that would be on December 13th in Rome, Georgia. So the Vikes are just 2 games away, but 2 very tough games away from getting to that. Paul Trost still talking to his team down below us. We understand the defensive player of the game was Tyler Davis. Tyler came up with 2 big interceptions early in this contest. He fumbled a punt, came back 2 plays later for a pick, had another spectacular interception, and both stopped drives by the Ottawa Braves. And the offensive player of the game, Lenoris Dukes. Lenoris Dukes had 4 touchdown runs today. So congratulations to Tyler Davis. Congratulations to Lenoris Dukes. They are the players of the game. Let's take one more 30-second break, and when we come back, Coach Troth will join us.
Save money by heading to Lacrosse Lumber in Marshall for the Owens Corning Attic-Cat Expanding Insulation System, featuring blown-in pink fiberglass insulation.
That was a heck of a game.
Yeah, it was good. You going to want a little wrap-up after we're done?
Yeah,
okay.
Just give me a few minutes to get it switched over.
You got it.
Corning Attic-Cat Insulation. Bring in your measurements and get a free estimate today at Lacrosse Lumber, 152 West Morgan Street in Marshall.
Erica here with Domino's Pizza in Marshall. Excited football season is here. For all you Missouri Valley College Viking fans, take advantage of our Viking special here at Domino's. Every Saturday, the Viking football team plays.
Sorry, that was on me.
That's all right.
Price pizzas, 50%, carry out only, unlimited. Where can you get great pizza half off? Right here at Domino's in Marshall. So save yourself money every Saturday with our Viking specials, and save yourself time by ordering online, Domino's.com, or call 886-6565. Good luck to the Vikings in today's game.
Thanks. We got Coach Paul Troth. Coach, great win today. Hey, talk about your offense. Turn the ball over 5 times and still score 56 points.
Well, yeah, that, a little fortunate there. Was not real happy with those turnovers. That's something we spend a lot of time on and try to eliminate. So that was disappointing to see, and we're going to have to fix some of those things. I told them we can't continue to do that and be successful. We got away with it today, and our defense played extremely well and kept them at bay, and that's the reason.
Yeah, your defense really shut them down. They score over 20 points, but they got a couple of those on a short field and got one late.
Yeah, I thought really we were pretty sloppy today. This, and that's not taking anything from Ottawa. They got a very good ball team, but I think our defense early on kept them from getting any rhythm. And offensively, we were slow starting, and then again, the turnovers didn't help. But, we get to practice another week, and we'll get ready. We'll try to fix those things.
Big play. One of the turning points of the game, a call you made, that fake punt in the third quarter. They had the momentum. You get a first down, take it into score, and it's pretty well over after that.
Well, we got a little bit lucky right there, and certainly Rafi made a great play on that. Marcus Brinkley threw a nice ball and put it in a good spot, and it was one of those close plays, but it went our way, and again, the kids made enough plays today. That was good.
Well, you win, you live to play another day. We know we'll be back at home next week. I guess we'll find out tomorrow who will play.
Yep, that's right. Nothing else we can do, and we'll just have to wait, and then we'll go to work then.
11-0, Coach. Great job. Keep it going.
All right, thanks, Joe.
All right, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Coach. And that'll wrap things up from Greg Mitchell as the Vikings win it today, 56-21. We'll know tomorrow afternoon who our quarterfinal opponent will be. But we do know one thing. It'll be right here at Greg Mitchell in Marshall on the Missouri Valley College campus next Saturday afternoon. Soccer coming up at 6:30 on Stretch and live stream for the whole crew. Chaz Maddie and the entire production crew on live stream. For Joe Wall, I'm Ken Cuiava. So long from Marshall.
The Missouri Valley Football Playoffs on Mid-Missouri Sports Leader, KMMO. Brought to you in part by Heinzler Brothers, Springwater Greenhouse and Landscaping.